welcome back to the Blunt Lab. This is Marcus, our brother Rick, and I'm Al. What's going on, fellas?
You
Chilling
already
like
know.
a villain, man. So let's jump right into this bitch. We're a little behind, so I know we're behind, but I just wanted to talk about this.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
You know, so
better place
the
to
Alabama
be.
Brawl.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So I'm not gonna have her play. She's not gonna play the whole video.
The Battle of
I'm gonna have her
Montgomery.
play where you see the guy getting jumped. You'll see Aquaman.
They're doing his job.
Look at her. Look at that.
Hey, what?
Uh-huh. There's women involved too.
Solo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, this guy's trying to break shit up. You should be Spartan kicking motherfuckers into the water. Oh, look at Aquaman. Look at Aquaman. Look at Aquaman.
Look at that.
This is for people who think.
And this is pretty deep.
Love it.
You know what I'm saying? This is for folks
recording.
who don't think black people can swim. My man just proves you wrong. Look how quick he swam over there.
Stop. It's just like old girl said, bro. The Avengers assembled.
Oh,
they came. Look at that.
Everybody got their shirt off. Everybody got their shirt off, ready to go.
Yeah.
This chick's commentary was something different, dog.
Look at the beatdowns. Look at the beatdowns. See?
Listen, the best part of the whole experience was everybody on the riverboat singing "Move, Bitch, Get Out of the Way."
Oh. You know what I'm saying? Where's my favorite part is coming up
doing
soon.
His job. Like,
wait till my man shows up. Where's my man? Where's my man with the chair at? Where's my man? Oh, there it is. Boom. Boom. My man's WWE.
There you go.
Hello. He's like, what's up? What's up, nigga? Oh, he hit the lady.
He made
the
all
lady
the
was
memes.
on her ass already. And dropped the chair on top of that head. Now you see, look at the cops. Look at the cops. Out of all the people, they're going to jump on the nigga with the chair. For what? My man wasn't done. My man was not done.
No, did you see those interviews afterwards where the one chick was like, well, you know, they're always going to put the black people in handcuffs first. Like, I was like, come on, man.
I want to say this. I don't want, I don't promote violence or anything of that sort, but
no,
this is one of the few times that you've actually seen where you actually see black folks coming together and sticking up for one another.
I love the unity. I love the unity, and I love the fact that people came and helped this man as he was getting jumped for doing his job. Like, all he was doing was telling them,
off the riverboat.
Like, you can't have your boat here because the riverboat's coming in to dock. And then you swing on him for it? Like, come on, man.
Those people
are getting out, like, people are getting crazy, bro.
Were his co-workers.
Well, I'm saying, but people are getting crazy thinking they can just do anything they want to people.
Dude, it's Alabama.
Well, okay, look, this is a very American experience, and let me explain what I'm trying to say real quick, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you know me, you know I try to play devil's advocate or be empathetic in every situation. So why I say that the Alabama Brawl was one of the most American things I've seen in a long time is this, because this is what you establish. Number one, fuck around and find out, or FAFO, as these kids are saying right now. So, at every level, because as American as fuck as it is, right? Hear me out. Yo, them guys pulled up to a spot they wasn't supposed to be. There comes consequences with doing that, right? my man who was working put his hands on an American piece of property. He fucked around and found out. There's consequences to that. Then everybody who really didn't know what was going on, that jumped in from both sides, because look, dumbass white people doing dumbass white people things happen a lot in the beginning of these videos if you watch them. Look, I feel you, right? Like, don't touch my shit. But the man just spent, like, if you watch the videos, he spends like at least 8 minutes explaining to these dudes why they're not supposed to be there. And they walk right past it after the fact, like they don't give a fuck.
Yes.
And that's some disrespectful shit. So I would do the same thing. I would push the boat out the way. But what you said, kind of halfway joking, halfway being serious, the best part that I took from the whole thing was the unity that was involved, right? Right. Regardless of the situation, what was going on, a lot of people saw the situation and they were like, they backed what they felt in their heart was the right thing to do. Number two, everybody on the riverboat started singing "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way" before it started to happen. And that was the best part. That was the best part of the whole shit. But more importantly, and this is the biggest takeaway I have from that whole situation. Let's just keep it real quick, fellas. Had this not, especially not only have the appearance of, but most undoubtedly boils down to, it was a race thing. Had this been two groups of white people or two groups of black people, this would not be on the news like it is right now. It would be on ridiculousness. It would be on America's Funniest Home Videos. It wouldn't be something that we were talking about under these type of scenarios. And it goes to the further point that we've discussed ourselves many a time. They're pushing this segregist agenda. Like, it don't fucking matter. Like, look, dude, it don't matter. Like, you're gonna back up who is right in that situation if you're right-minded. You're gonna back up who's wrong in that situation if you're drunk and doing stupid shit. And that's what that shit kind of boiled down to. And that's kind of my take on that. And I hope we do better as people.
That makes two of us, because
from these type of situations.
Race is whatchamacallit. It's a fundamental element of this country's history. Like race relations. So yeah, I agree with you.
At least what we've been taught.
What we've been taught.
At least what we've been taught.
So I agree with you on that point. Like, if it was a group of whites or a group of blacks or any other race of people fighting each other, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. It would have just been like, oh, look at these people acting crazy. But it being a black and white thing, it definitely sensationalizes it, so to speak.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
It backs up the agenda that's getting pushed on us already. So they're going to take us being dumbasses and use that against us, and that's one of those scenarios for sure all day. I mean, what outside of outside of the fact that seeing everyone sort of come to and get his back, but what about the people that came and got dudes back? Like the chick that came up and started yelling at him and a couple of different things. Like, I see getting your boys back, but they look like I don't know, bro.
You see them ended up with a chair to the head.
That's true.
Yeah, she got a chair to the one got thrown in the water.
One got thrown in the water. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like body slam.
Look,
like
that video
on, like...
motivated me to purchase a white folding chair, and I have that shit. I have that shit right outside the door. So yeah, fuck around and find out. Fuck around if you want to. All right, because I'm going to go WWE on your ass. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Hispanic. I don't give a damn. That chair's ready to fuck somebody up. So go ahead, fuck around if you want to.
Equal rights, bro.
Equal rights, equal
We've said this before. Equal rights, equal fights. That's
right.
I'm an equal opportunity fighter, baby.
That's it. That's it. Ain't nobody off. Ain't nobody off the agenda. They all on it. Everybody on the list.
Everybody.
That's facts,
dude,
man.
It just killed me that she was already on her ass. And my man said, you know what, bitch, you need one of these too. Boom! Right on the dome.
And you know what's funny too? It's all like the reenactments and like the comment, like the videos with the commentary that make it just.
I didn't send the
epic,
wife the
man.
one
Like,
you sent me. I forgot to send it to her because she was hilarious.
that one had
And she
me
was
crying.
like, oh,
Yeah, that one had me in
Avengers
tears,
Unite.
bro.
I was like, oh no.
But it was like they had the portals drawn out with the dudes coming out the portals.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little particular. I'm going to be a little nitpicky about something.
Undefeated.
You know, some of these comments make Avenger references, but they're calling my man in the water Aquaman. Really? Aquaman is DC, motherfucker.
Be like Namor.
Right? There you go.
It'd be like Namor.
If you're going to go Aquaman, you need to, the Justice League, the Justice League unite. You can't throw the Avengers in there. I mean, come on, man. Let's just.
How were they saying his name? Was it Namor? How was he saying it? He was saying it like Namor.
Marvel don't really have a good Aqua representation.
Yeah, just him. Just Namor. I mean?
Like,
yeah.
Well, you know what's crazy? He's one of the oldest Marvel characters too, and like he's not that popular. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, Aquaman wouldn't be popular if DC didn't use like someone like Jason Momoa to bring him back.
He was definitely a joke up until Jason Momoa.
That guy was worse than Robin.
That was DC's
Robin was
best
a
grossing
sidekick
movie was Aquaman. Yep.
It did really good at the box office, but it was because of Momoa. It was another one of those movies like, Magic Mike or 50 Shades where it was just attracting that crowd. So not all of it was like, you're going to get, what to expect with a Marvel movie just from Marvel customers and children. But that one put in the element of the ladies. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of changed the whole aspect of all that. As far as I'm concerned,
I'll say this with Game of Thrones.
And you see, who is replacing Amber Heard for this next one? It's oh man, I forgot now. But they're definitely going to change the female lead to be more stronger in it from everything that I've read so far. But you have to one up Amber Heard, and that's not hard.
Well, man, I'd like to think I'd have good hopes for it, man. But I think people would just abandon DC because like they're rebooting everything. So like these last couple of movies haven't done well because, Jason Momoa is probably not going to play Aquaman after this.
I think it's a timing thing too. The biggest problem I've found with DC over the last 10 years is the timing thing. Like that's a perfect example of Justice League. I know we're getting a little off topic, and I'm sorry, but with Justice League, they wanted to rush it to get in there with Endgame and Infinite War. So I think that's been. Same thing with the Wonder Woman situation. Like, they started to rush these movies out to get them in the box office, and it didn't get the proper amount of build-up and the right amount of publicity. And I think that's been DC's biggest problem, rushing it out. Look, even Zack Snyder has come out to say, like, what the hell is wrong? Like, all we needed was 6 more months. And you could have had a great 3-hour film in the movie theater. Instead, they got 2.5 hours of crap, and it took us 4 years to get the full vision of it. Which, like, we didn't even get the entire boss, if you know what I mean, from Justice League until you saw the Snyder Cut. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's a little late for spoilers, but long story short,
No, that's facts, man. Like, they definitely tried to compete with Marvel, but they didn't flesh it out. Like, Marvel took years to flesh out Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, everybody get their solo movies, and then you make a team up, They just shoehorned the Flash and Aquaman into Batman versus Superman. Hell, they shoehorned Batman into Superman's sequel. It's like, dude.
Even in Flash, this generational Batman thing, I love Michael.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Michael Keaton fan, but doing this kind of generational thing with the Batmans is probably going to screw stuff up. But, at the end of the day, Marvel does that stuff too.
They just do it better.
It's just not as bad.
Yeah.
Right. And look, a lot of people are like, the way, if you listen to the whispers, Phase 5 is, they're starting to have doubts on how directions that they've been taking on certain thought processes or building processes. Sure. And I think a lot of that has to do with expectations got set high.
I like not to keep dwelling on it, but like with the new shows Marvel has come out with, I didn't hate all of them, but they're just not what the older.
I liked WandaVision.
WandaVision was great, but they're
trying to pass. That's probably
they're trying
like
to
the
pass
one.
the torch on. The only one I really enjoyed was Hawkeye, and what's her name?
Yeah, I like
coming up.
Hawkeye.
But Multiverse was good too, though. Multiverse was good. I mean, I wasn't as happy with Ultimanium. I know y'all did a spot on it before. I wasn't obviously not a guest at that time, but I enjoyed Multiverse
Yes,
of
I
Madness
did too.
way better than I did Ultimanium, and I wanted to watch. I wanted Ant-Man more. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to like that better, but I think it got a little convoluted. I guess would be a good word. It tried to get too. It tried to get too much kind of put in there, and I was like, I kind of left disappointed. I don't know.
No,
I'm the only one.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Oh, Paul Rudd is the man.
Paul Rudd
dude.
can do no
That's
wrong.
a fact.
Paul Rudd is the man.
And he's not aging. He's not aging.
Yeah, it's on. You know what that is, right? You know
For
what that
sure.
is? It's all that children blood that they like to
Is
drink.
that baby blood?
Mhm.
Yeah, I heard that the Illuminati likes baby blood.
Yes, they
He's still
do.
young.
You know what? I see that one eye behind you too, Rick.
Represent loud and proud, baby. Nah, that's it. This shit with Hawaii, same thing. That's those
Dude,
1,000
not
kids.
even, you know,
school
you got
buses in the
Hawaii
middle
with
of
that
that.
recently,
Like,
not too long ago. Dude, Haiti's ridiculous.
And
Dude,
then Haiti.
Oprah with her schools in Africa, that's ridiculous. In Cleveland,
Yeah.
in Ohio,
correct.
okay, in 2 weeks, you had 30 kids wind up and missing. You know, yeah, we'll definitely dive into that. Well, you know, speaking of kids,
Wow.
Adrenochrome is real as it gets. On what level? It's just like anything else. The reason that they started putting out alien movies in the 80s was to make us start thinking it was hokey. So that way, when they had disclosure, we would accept aliens, right? It's the same fucking thing with this shit, man. It's the same fucking thing. They put half of what we find out about is real. The other half is so hokey that we don't believe the other. Oh my God, it's so bad stuff.
No.
Man, it's terrible. The adrenochrome. I mean, like, you know, think about like some of the stories that we've been told since we were very young that tie into it all. Adrenochrome is everything that we know about the Fountain of Youth. It's everything that we know about what has kept, you know, the jokes like you made about Paul Rudd and the different things. You know, I'll wait for those type of shows to dive into it a little bit more, but it's as real as it gets.
No,
it's
it's
as real as it
facts.
gets. I mean, this whole writer's strike thing is because they want to use AI. So, for an example, if they create a character, all right, I'm going to pull a random one. Let's say, okay, let's use Hulk because he's had Mark Ruffalo, Ed Norton, Eric Bana. Like they've had a lot of different dudes play Hulk over the years, right? Well, let's say they like a particular one better than the others, but he's not getting like Ed Norton, not getting along with the studios, not getting along with the writers, not getting along with Marvel, et cetera, et cetera. So what they can do is we own the character, like WWF or WWE owns those characters, right? They can use AI now. I mean, like you can go and do it. You can take a dead relative's voice clippings, submit it into this little AI bank, and it can make your relative say whatever you want it to say and talk to you every single day. Same thing with acting.
We covered this with the Black Mirror episode.
Sports. You know what I mean? Like
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, you did a bit.
Was it Joan is Awful? That whole episode was kind of like what the power AI
and that's
has.
what's happening with the writer's strike in LA right now. That's exactly what's happening. The quote unquote writer's strike they're talking about that these actors are backing up. That's what it boils down to. And they just passed something in court 2 or 3 days ago, like on Wednesday or Thursday, that was in favor. It's like, to me, in my mind, I'm painting it a smoke screen. Like it's one of those, all right, look, we're going to like make it sound like this so everything can move forward now, you know, and they tell you everything is fixed. Oh, we fixed it. We passed it up. Everybody's going to get paid right. But long story short, it's just like recreational marijuana in Florida. It's that close. But they basically shot down the studios and the likeness owners to be able to use this person's image and their voice sounds without them ever acting in the movie. They don't got to pay them. That's what the fight is about. Like I can use Ed Norton as the Hulk because that's what he signed up for back then with MGM or whoever the fuck it was at the time. And now they can keep using him as Hulk even if you don't want to do it. And they stopped it from happening this time.
This time, yeah.
But moving on
That sucks
Yes, it
too,
does.
man. Because
Oh, no
I'm
worries,
sorry,
no worries.
I'm sorry, brother. That sucks.
We were
though.
talking about kids. I
Yeah.
got this brother on TikTok. I forget his name
Well,
is, but he had something to say about Epstein that I wanted to get you guys' view on. Let's run that clip.
okay.
But this brother here, forget his name, but you guys should give him a follow on TikTok, man. He's a smart young brother.
Jeffrey Epstein was one of those behind
Gotcha.
the sex trafficking, organ trafficking of children.
Organ trafficking. We gotta get into that later.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, since we talking about that.
Crazy. I didn't.
Oh, yeah, brother. You're dealing about it's business.
Some motherfuckers cut niggas open for lungs and shit.
All right. According to the United States Census Bureau, by the year 2042, Caucasian people in America will be the minority. By 2042, you're dealing with people whose bodies cannot sustain life. Right now, more white women's wombs are not able to hold a baby up to 9.5 months, and they're having miscarriages. So they're having more deaths than births, according to the United States Census Bureau. When you're dealing with a group of people who look at their livelihood and it is dwindling, there are actions that need to be taken. So not only do we have the black women being encouraged to have hysterectomies, but we have the white women being encouraged to have more children. You have the abortion clinics in 78% of the inner city neighborhoods, while you have the majority of fertility clinics in the rich neighborhoods. You have body parts. Women, black women, are being encouraged to get hysterectomies, but those hysterectomies are not being petitioned to be received by trans men. It gets very deep.
Wow.
Very deep. I know, curveball. I know.
That took a turn.
I know.
Yeah.
Another thing,
I didn't see
you have
that.
organs, kidneys, you have lungs, hearts, etc., that are on the underground white market because black people don't control it. White and Jewish people primarily do control it, so I can't call it the black market. It's the white market. Okay, number one. Number two, hearts are worth a little over 100,000. Kidneys are worth over 20, 50,000, depending on where it is. And those black body parts, hence why 75,000 plus black men are missing. A lot of these children, 2,500 every year, are missing.
It sounds like Get Out.
It is Get Out. That movie was based on true stories happening all over the place. In America, right now, it is a $30 billion sex trafficking commercialized industry, meaning the money made from sex trafficking of children and women is now contributing to America's economic base. It is not a secret anymore.
And organ trafficking.
And organ trafficking, because people are dying. How did David Rockefeller get 6 or I believe 7 heart transplants in less than 20 years? When you go on the list for a heart donor, you have to go back to the bottom after you get a heart. This man, who happens to be a banker, and he's gone now, but he got over 5 hearts. How do you do that unless you have the money to do it? And not only that, but what hearts was he getting?
Yeah,
a
for
black
real.
man's heart.
For real, because who the fuck is gonna give you that heart? That means you die.
Which is why you shouldn't put organ donor on your driver's license.
I'm gonna get rich, but I'm dead.
We always
Why
call
you
the
shouldn't
power
put
lines in
organ donor
America.
on your driver's license.
Yeah,
Because that
I don't
makes
do
you
that
a
anymore.
target. This is a real world we're dealing with, y'all. Now, you brought me on Drink Champs, damn it. We dropping the real information.
gotta drop the
Yo,
real.
I know one
My
thing,
brother
bro.
wants that.
I know they're kidnapping girls in New York.
Yeah,
So I
they
know that's
doing that in
what's
New
going
York
on.
too.
What? Yeah, they
That's
This is about
They are
Atlanta.
kidnapping
Everywhere.
girls, man, in New
Yes.
York for that same thing.
All over, yes.
Organ.
This is correct.
Organs.
Yeah.
We have to
This is
protect
serious. This
our
is real.
children,
What's
protect
that
our
movie in
women.
Brazil when the motherfuckers in Brazil, they just catch tourists? I think it's called Touristas.
Yeah.
Touristas, and they just come and they take the tourists.
They
That's
found
racist.
a bunker in Phoenix, Arizona a couple months ago with refrigerators full of hearts, kidneys, a few heads, body parts in
In
refrigerators.
Phoenix,
This is a
dude.
very real thing. And it wasn't just an organ where
Wow.
it was a bunker, unmarked. People didn't know about it until the police raided it and they found all these body parts. It's a very real thing.
That shit. Wow. Your thoughts?
I've got about 18 years of thoughts on this. That's how long I've dug in on this subject.
Yes.
Human trafficking is a big deal to me. You touched on something earlier, and I know
Yes.
you're pretty rich on some Haiti history. Chris Cornell, Anthony Bourdain, and Chester Bennington were somewhere
Yep.
pretty close to releasing a documentary about what was happening to the kids in Haiti. And then, of course, they were all suicided pretty close within
Yes, they were.
months of each other, I guess would be a good way to put it. What he's speaking on there is definitely not only a very popular topic now. I feel like the last time I read a poll about that, somewhere in the neighborhood of like 64% of Americans, it was either 64 or 68. So let's take the lower. Let's be conservative on it. 64% of Americans are aware of human trafficking, how it happens, why it happens, and what they're supposed to do about it. Like it's like an evacuation plan for a town that hits tornadoes. Like how everyone in that town knows exactly what they're supposed to do when the tornado siren goes off. 64% of Americans know that what's about to happen in most human trafficking situations. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the things that he's touching on, and he's doing it in such a dramatic way that it will alarm and awake others. We need a 64 to be at 100, as far as I'm concerned. Everyone should be aware of this shit. But more importantly, the way that we beat this, and this is my thoughts on that. These rich guys, if you want to call them this, these elitists, I won't point out any particular religious group or whatnot, like he did.
No, he's not.
Have a video.
No, he's not.
He's not lying. He's not lying at all. It's a way to get more people awake to what's happening, but more importantly, to oust those that are doing it. For so long, they've lived with impunity. They've been able to do this shit. That's the shit that fucks me up. Guys like Epstein, because of, he's got two of the world's largest fucking banks owned that man. Like, he was I don't know. I'm going to assume that you guys know a good amount about what Epstein Island was. Okay, there's the scary shit. But then the real shit is they take rich and powerful motherfuckers like Wexler and Clinton, so on and so forth. They give them the things that they want. Then they're like, oh, we can give you this little bit younger thing or this or that. And then they're filming them from up there. And then now they own them. They own them. That was the bank. That's the Fed. He touched about Rockefeller in there. Not only Rockefeller, the reason that we don't have free fucking energy, because we could have free energy, right? Every bit of Nikolai Tesla's research and information that he gave and free patent to all of us means free energy, no power lines. Rockefeller owned all the power lines. Rothschild owned all of the Fed. So everything starts and ends there. Everything from 9/11 to Epstein. And why that connects is very simple. What do the elite do? And I'm going to be careful how I talk here. When they want to hide something, they shine light on something else that it's okay that they understand and know now. The reason we know about Epstein, the reason we know about Epstein Island, the reason we know about the human trafficking is because, like the Bible talks about, if you're even remotely religious, all of the devil's work doesn't matter until it is clear and present and accepted. That's why Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, Beyonce go up on stage.
LeBron James, don't forget LeBron James.
The triangle, the pyramid. LeBron, all of that. The reason that all of that has to happen, that symbolism has to occur, because the devil's job is not done until it is accepted, right? Now, you can be religious about it and look at the devil like some horned thing from hell that competes with God, or you can look at it like what it really is. The devil is the money on this planet. Okay? And the people behind it. And what drives them is the sickest of shit. And the sickest of shit is human trafficking. That's the worst of the worst right now, as bad as it gets. And until guys like you and I, until we rise up and oust these guys, it's how it's going to be. We used to refer to it as tar and feathers. Like when the politicians were fucking up, they drag them out of the street, cover them in tar and feathers, and treat them like the piece of shit chicken ass motherfucker that they were.
Here's what they won't allow. They won't allow guys like us to get together to try to oust them. We'll get suicided long before we can get together to try to oust them.
But that's just because it's small groups, though. If it was like large amounts of unity, bro, there's more of us than there is them.
They represent 1%.
Us than there are elites. Exactly. But they know we can't be united. They're going to put those messages out there like you've talked about, Rick, like the agendas to separate us and divide us. And we're never going to be able to stop it in that sense, because they know that they can control us in that way. Because there's not enough people that think like this. Well, not enough people that will do something.
I agree with that. But I don't necessarily agree that we can't get to that point. Are we close enough? Absolutely not. Is it gonna take a big part of it though? Is a lot of people. I used to want to wake everybody up. Okay, everybody that I would talk to. If you had any kind of spark of anything in you, I want to tell you
people don't want to wake up, dude. People don't want to wake up.
All of this shit.
That's true. Well,
a lot of people want to be numb. A lot of people want to be, you know what? I just want to be a sheep. I just want to get up in the morning and I want to go to work and I want to pay my taxes and then I want to die. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to deal with that shit. Like if an apocalypse were to really occur, like some real ass zombie shit or some Mad Max shit, like most of the people, not only would they not survive whatever causes it, they wouldn't survive wanting to drive on. And that is all 100% from what the elite has been doing to us for 100 years in the form, well, actually, let me take it further than that. In the form of entertainment in general, like go back to the Greeks, go back to, the Olympics, the original Olympics, how it started and all of that. The longer that they keep us distracted, the more they can input that agenda to make us all feel like you just said, Marcus, like it's impossible.
No, that's facts. Yeah, that's definitely true.
I don't think it is, but the biggest part is the brainwashing, and it's so hard to take it away.
No, you can't.
You can't just stop people from being brainwashed.
And it's it's everywhere too. It's not just like certain areas of life. Like they're literally controlling these narratives every which way you look.
Put it this way, it's
every
easy.
Which way.
People don't want to be woken up to the point to where when you try to wake them up, they peg you as a conspiracy theorist. Even if you have fact or evidence to back what you're saying, you're still pegged as a conspiracy theorist. So it's like, take the Epstein thing, for example, the Epstein Island. I told Marcus about Epstein Island, was it 22 years ago? But I didn't know.
Probably when I first moved to Florida. Probably when I first moved out.
I had no idea it was Epstein Island. All I knew is that you had powerful people, including music stars, actors, going to this island and basically fucking kids. There's no, I'm not going to put it nicely. That's basically what they were doing. And, you know what I'm saying?
They fuck them and they hunt them, and they hunt them also. They'll release them out into the woods and hunt them.
Now we know what it is. You see the chick that was his right-hand man, essentially. How she's still alive is beyond me.
Maxwell.
We mentioned, God knows what she did. We mentioned all those.
She's got a list, but they haven't released that list.
And I mean, dude, names.
That list is that's going to shake the world.
Names
bro.
like Tom Hanks,
if it ever gets released,
is on this list. Jennifer Aniston is on this list. Okay, allegedly. I don't want somebody to, I don't need lawsuits. Yes,
we have the flight logs. Flight logs.
Politicians.
If you look at someone who went over there maybe one time, right? We don't know, because again, we know what happens. They go over there with a good intention, and then the temptation is put there. It's the ones that went there multiple times. Once you've been there once, if you didn't go back, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that what you saw over there was some shit that you're not quite down with. Because there are guys and girls that come out in Hollywood and in sports and in music that will tell you, let me give you some examples, like your Chris Pratts and your Mel Gibsons. And certain ones that right, that have tried, but they make them crazy. They do exactly what we've been shown that they do. Cat Williams. Kanye. Well, it's not him anymore now.
Kanye, that's the real Kanye. If it's big Kanye, that's the fake nigga.
Kanye before his, simple. I'll give you the timeline spot when his mama died. Kanye pre-mama died. Post-mama died. Yeah. Everything is different. And then, the psychologist, the same psychologist that he just had this whole situation with, I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not looking at my data right now. No worries at all, man. We're kind of on an off topic again. There's a lot of celebrities. A lot of celebrities have been going to this psychologist, the one that Kanye just went back to, right? during this last split from Kim, that not really a psychologist. It's definitely either a cloning situation or like you've seen what's the one where all the kids get at the school get brainwashed?
The faculty? Is it the faculty? That's like the alien thing. Yeah, no, I don't think that's it.
The faculty is among the drugs and stuff. No, but it's very similar to that, where they're being brainwashed and manipulated into that sort of way of thinking. You know what I mean? And we're definitely seeing that more now, especially with. I mean, just the way school is.
Shit, that's a whole other topic right there with the schools. Like, it's just ridiculous, man.
I mean, what's his name? Cat Williams would be on that list too, as far as like people speaking out on things and make him look like a lunatic.
Is it crazy him out?
Yeah, Chappelle. Yeah.
Another one that they probably took him out and cloned him. You know what I mean? Like it's in this day of technology, they're able to do that real easy, man. No, I don't even think that we've seen Biden, the actual Biden, since he's been president. Since they locked up DC, and all you've seen him is on TV. I'm not 100% convinced that it's not, that deep state technology of it's just a puppet. You know what I mean? Legitimately a puppet. You know what I mean? Like, I would not be surprised.
Wouldn't be.
Have you seen him in person? Have you seen him in person?
No.
And dude, recently
Have you met anyone who has?
Fox is on that list too.
Yeah, he had that stroke. Yeah. And here's the thing, man. That makes me so sad because when people ask me, and I have a bit of an entertainment review background in old school blogs, and you'll see this many times if you cross-reference it. I've pretty much always put Jamie Foxx in the top 3 actors all time in my book, for a very number of reasons, whether it's range, commitment, ability to get there without losing it. There's just so many things about Jamie that, again, probably my favorite actor alive. In a lot of ways. So with that said, the whole stroke thing and the stuff coming out of the Katie stuff and the Scientology stuff, and there's just a lot of spooky shit over like a 6-year period with Jamie that don't make no sense. Then it all came off of because he was so successful in many, many things. But after Django, something sort of changed. I don't know if it was the Jews don't like Quentin. All right? Even though it comes across like they do because he was a Weinstein boy. You know that, right? I mean, like, the reason that Quentin Tarantino is who he is because of Harvey Weinstein. Now Harvey was the key puzzle in your Einstein book, okay? Harvey was the reason that everything else came out. And not just, okay, it looks like the reason on the surface, but let me ballpark it. The Me Too movement and Harvey Weinstein are the reason that we are the starting point or the building block to us knowing about the Einstein, the Epstein stuff. Okay. All right. And the reason that it triggered it all was because it was allowed to. So going back to the original talk of it all, the powers that be only allow us to see what's going on once they've moved on to the next thing. So they're already on to the next thing that's fucking us up, which is a one world order where the dollar is no longer the power, with AI technology keeping everyone locked into a digital mind. And pretty soon guys like Rockefeller and the Morgans and the DuPonts and a lot of the other Bilderbergers will be able to transfer their consciousness into an AI computer, and when their body dies, they're still alive. And they can take new hosts. And the FC stuff, that's what that's all about. They need the blood, and they need the blessing from Moloch in order to stay in that secret society. And the more it's in our face, the more we're supposed to be in Armageddon. Has the rapture occurred?
I mean, dude.
Do that kind of thing to a child, man. That's sick bastards, bro. You gotta be a really sick motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm that guy that would.
Dude, that would be
of that guy.
Oh, if I had superpowers, that would be like my thing that I
with
do.
the guys that have passed away,
And my
we
suit.
need to look out for Ashton Kutcher, because Ashton Kutcher is the other guy who's heavily involved in trying to.
Literally.
He uncovered, he went into these meetings and testified and talked about all this stuff. And I was a big Ashton fan. And I think I at least talked about this. I want to bring somebody on the show at least one time, and it'll probably turn into more, some conversations about this. Ashton is not what the surface appears to be. You start digging down that rabbit hole, and who's the first ones to always advocate against? The ones who are part of it. Ashton got some serious sexual issues that under the surface have been made apparent. A big one. There's some references in Mila too, dog. She's her family's KGB.
I heard talk
That's
about that.
Story altogether.
I heard talk about
that.
Yeah, that is shit.
Okay. That's Eastern European fucking mafia right there. Now, with that said, Ashton has this, Ashton has been accused of raping bitches and all kinds of stuff. So it gets covered up a lot. And him and Masterson got into some shit, and Masterson got into trouble when he turned on Ashton. There's a bunch of shit with that rabbit hole, but here's the important part. Okay, there's a series based on the movie of Dusk Till Dawn. You familiar with it? Okay. When it gets into the third or fourth season, and I'm trying to take this right off the dome, or the third or fourth season, there's this chick who is out in public, and she's saving the children. She's actually taking the children to the vampires and shit. And there's some people that came out and compared Ashton to that. Because there was a long time there that I was like, oh man, Ashton Kutcher's talking about these girls and getting raped and the kids and this and that. And I thought, oh shit, he might be one for it. And then all this other stuff come out. And the Denny thing, and we could do a whole show on Ashton Kutcher, bro. I implore you, go down the YouTube rabbit hole on Ashton Kutcher and the BCI and the connections with Mila and the KGB, how that all works together. It's another human trafficking ring, another one of those. He's just, wolf in sheep's clothing, or wolf in shepherd's clothing,
like Oprah.
Like Oprah. Yeah, that's what I mean. But
I didn't I was a big advocate for that. I was a big advocate for him. Shit, man.
Me too. That's why that shit blew me away. That's why I got to bring Sean on for you, man, because he has this not a photographic memory. What's the other one called where he remembers? He remembers everything that he reads. He can't see it, but he remembers. He can access it fast. So he goes down these rabbit holes and can come back with all the information. That's gonna be
fun.
Have him on sometime. Man,
well, I want to move on to a lighter note. I know Marcus was kind of dreading this discussion because he was kind of rooting for this guy. But I mean, we won't show video.
I'm still Team Errol Spence. We coming back.
I'm Team Bud. I've always been Team Crawford. Ever since he's...
Don't get me wrong, I'm not against Bud. I'm not against him. I'm just, Spence is my guy, man.
About to pull up,
I thought
is going to show you why Bud is the beast that he is.
It's special, man.
My dad used to tell my mom I was going to be a...
Can't take nothing away from him. Special.
His mom said you weren't going to be shit.
How'd that make you feel? You feel me were raised?
We beating up everybody in the neighborhood. I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all
his mama now
$10 a piece.
$10, anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
A lot of takers.
Yeah, kids in the neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop them.
What did he tell you?
He told your mom, I told you I'm the best.
Bud beat all their asses.
First time it hurt, though. Yeah, I was a little kid. And at some point, the whooping stopped. Yeah, I wasn't having all that.
He was 13 when he said, Mom, you're not going to whoop me no more. He takes the belt from me.
He once told me I was fighting for her approval, for her to tell me she was proud or happy but she never would, so I stayed at it. Explain that to me. When she always tell me you're gonna lose, or you're not good enough, or you're gonna get your ass kicked, it's like, okay. When I win this tournament, she's gonna say, congratulations, I'm proud of you. But it never happened. All those years wanting for you to say,
I love you.
yes.
Yep.
His mama, yo. That is why Bud Crawford is now, her negativity, her negative way of trying to raise him or whatever, motivated him to do good, which is, I guess, a good thing. But she's just terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Imagine, Bud beat everybody's ass.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. You know he's one of the dudes Floyd Mayweather avoided. You know, Floyd Mayweather would prefer
that. See, I'm not gonna blame Floyd for that. Floyd's old as shit. He fighting that young beast. He's gonna lose that undefeated mark. And no point in
Floyd
taking
could have
risks.
fought Bud long before he retired.
But I'm saying, but he's still like older though, you know, and that could be an excuse.
I mean, what's
his? And you gotta remember, bro, this is like the 80s, the 70s, and 80s where cats had to fight each other. Like at this point, if I don't have to fight you and I can keep my belts and my status, like why? That's how these guys think.
It's always been like that. It's just, again, I think a lot of it has to do with the internet age of communication. Like you find out seconds later, faster than shit can get published back in the day. A lot of things transpired before anybody knew about it back then, and now it doesn't have time to. And I think that's a little bit to do with it. And another one, again, and Marcus, you and I spoke about this before. The boxers are just softer now. Like, so it's more obvious when they're avoiding a fight, versus before where, like, I think back in the, you know, that 80s, 90s, even early 2000s style of boxing was a little bit different. It was smash mouth. It was, I have to be the bigger, better man. Now it's I'm a better businessman type of sport, and I'm not knocking that or saying it's cool. What I'm simply saying is that the psychology is different. So I think Floyd probably avoided that fight because
he knows he wouldn't
feel confident he'd beat him.
I know he wouldn't beat him.
That's why he fought Manny. He fought Manny 5 years too late.
Yeah.
Because he knew he'd have a better shot.
Manny was hurt. I forget which shoulder was hurt, but he still took that fight for the money. You know, you could say, you know,
of course,
Again,
and you know what else messes boxing up too? There's so many different like commissions. Is it commissions? Is that the word I'm looking for? But
so many fucking belts, so many weight divisions. You know,
so many belts, so many divisions. There's so many different promotions. That's the word I'm looking for. It's like, oh, this fighter can't fight this guy because they're on different, you know, I'm with Dazen and this guy's with Top Rank and this guy's with this. Like the UFC has that right because if you're going to have a belt and a weight class, you're going to fight the next person up. That's it. Or you're going to surrender your belt.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Like that's what boxing is kind of whack because it's like, like we were talking about, dudes could avoid, like Floyd could fight who he wants. He could pick the fighters. Like he fought Manny years after he should have. He fought De La Hoya years after he should have.
I think he still would have beat De La Hoya.
He should have fought De La Hoya. I think so too. I think so too, but like, you know.
I mean, he was a better boxer than De La Hoya, but I don't know. There's a couple of others that he wasn't, you know.
Yeah,
Floyd is just
he didn't want to fight Winky either, right?
No,
am I correct about that? He didn't want to fight Winky. He fought Shane Mosley at a certain point, like when Shane was on the come down.
Paul Williams was willing to fight him. He ain't want none of that smoke.
Oh, see, Paul Williams is dangerous. A big, tall, lanky, power puncher. Yeah, that would have been a problem.
Think of how Zab Judah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Rick said. It's
think of how Zab Judah and Shane Mosley had the upper hand just for a little bit. Paul Williams would have exploited that. Bud would most certainly exploit that. Now, you know, go to the Spence beatdown. Look, I didn't see Spence. I told you, but we spoke about it. I told you from the jump, Spence wasn't going to win. Now,
That's my guy. I love
He
Errol
underestimated
Spence. Like, that's
Here's-
my guy. Like, I
Here's
love
what I
that guy.
didn't expect. I didn't expect for it to be a beatdown the way it was. I kind of expected it to be a little more competitive.
Not that one-sided.
Now, there's rumors, and these, again, are just rumors, that Spence had an argument with his girlfriend, and she, like, drugged him up before the fight. Because if you see him walking into the ring, he looks stoned. And after the beatdown,
Yeah.
he looks stoned.
And, you know, I don't want to make an excuse for
no,
him,
not at
but
all.
you remember the car accident he was in a couple years
But
ago?
I mean, dude, he beat...
Like, I don't feel like he's the same boxer since. Now, he's looked okay, but, like, the way he looked before that.
yeah, you're not gonna be
I don't know if he's the same.
after a car. Like, dude,
He almost died.
he was projected from his...
Like, he almost died.
Like, he was launched from his vehicle. You know what I mean? You're not going to be the same. He looked good against 𝐄𝐩𝐬𝐭𝐞𝐲, whatever his name is. Like, he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Now, again, I never saw him beating Bud. There was no way he was going to beat Bud. But
That's respect. Bud is
a monster. I just didn't see it. Like, it literally looked like I was in the ring with Bud. Like, Spence looked like
he made Errol look. He made him look really amateurish.
Super amateur
in a sense, like
super amateurish.
Like, all due respect, you know.
I'll say it again and again with all due respect. He looked like he did not. I mean, you putting a spin on it that this old lady might have doped him up or something. You know, it made me sit here for the last like 45 seconds and kind of rehash that in my head, going back to it, and that's kind of what I didn't think that, obviously, but what I thought was this. I was like, it looks like, you know how when the guys, you don't want to do, when a fighter, like, I think of like Great White Height when Damon caught all the weight, like, where he was like, he was so confident that he owned it, that he didn't train right, he didn't mentally prepare right, he wasn't like on, like, you got to kind of be on edge and know that you got to be at your best to make sure that you do what you're supposed to do, regardless if you're the favorite or not. Regardless if you're the better fighter, anybody can win on every given night.
That's Mike Tyson.
You know what I mean? I've seen it on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
And there you go. You know what I mean? And that was because why? Because Tyson's head wasn't there. All right. So without stepping on that, that's what my thought process was. I was like, oh, he underestimated him, and Spence thought he was going to win, and he just got like just ragdolled around this bitch. And now I hadn't heard, again, like I said, I pay attention, but I'm not into it like that. I hadn't rabbit holed on anything to do with this old lady doping him up, because they're obviously not talking about that in mainstream, any kind of mainstream media. So I'm gonna
even I was like, you know,
because I want to rewatch it. I want to watch the guys now.
He looked fucked
up
like that. Like, I didn't get to watch the whole. Like, I saw highlights of the fight.
But let me put it to you like this, bro. You smoke, your eyes will get red, right? You take Adderall, you're gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of fighters in sports, in general, athletes, they take Adderall so they can stay focused. All right, whatever, that's your thing. It's not much different than cocaine or methamphetamine or whatnot. But if they're doped up, their eyes are gonna look like that, and that's why I asked that. I want to go back and kind of look at it and try to get as close as I can to his face.
And popped a painkiller along with it, or several. You know, he looked that just kind of fucked up. Like,
man,
it was just.
That's what's shocking about it. It's like he beat Errol at like the things that Errol is great at. Like, he outclassed him, and he outboxed him. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not shocked that Bud won, because I'm like, Bud is just as good, or if not better. But it's just the way he did it. It was like, that was a little bit unnerving, because they're gonna rematch this, and I'm like, well, if he did you like that, I don't.
Yeah, yesterday, right?
Yeah,
in Alpha yesterday.
Yeah. He pulled the claws.
So, you know what?
Or whatever.
They're probably gonna fight at 154 this time. Because I think Bud wants to put more weight on and fight bigger.
You mentioned in that, I want to ask you about this pretty clear. I would like y'all's input. I heard some chatter that they were talking about. Again, it goes back to what y'all just said about all the bogus the titles and stuff. But expanding the weight classes. What are your thoughts on it?
They have far too many weight classes to begin with.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, They're talking about like expanding what the amount is for the weight. So instead of, I guess the idea behind it was it makes more eligible matches in terms of like, you and I want to fight. We're not anywhere in the same weight class, but we don't have to go as far.
I think that's bullshit.
If it eliminates, you know what I'm saying, if it eliminates some of these like subdivisions, then I'm cool with it. Like, what the hell is a super middleweight?
Yeah,
and a middleweight and a cruiserweight and a cruiserweight and a light heavyweight. What is that? 2 pounds difference? Like that's
and
like,
all of these guys don't fight at
ultra lightweight.
Don't fight at the weight that they walk around at, which is why sometimes you can see that reflect in a fight because a weight cut could go really bad for a dude,
right?
And you'll wonder why he looks like shit in the ring, and it's like, you know, the dude's fucking dehydrated.
That's why I'm pro make the class not necessarily only about weight.
Well,
did either of you play football here in Florida for youth? So we basically have 2 youth age leagues. Okay, we have Pop Warner, and we have CFYFL, Central Florida Youth Football League. Okay, if you're familiar with. So like in their different neighborhoods, the high school has its team, and then the CFYFL team is an NFL team for that school. Okay, here's the most significant difference. Pop Warner is very weight oriented. It's all based on weight, has minimum plays, so everybody on the team has to play a certain amount of plays, et cetera, et cetera. CFYFL, it's like a little mantra or whatever, is it's where the big boys play because there's no weight limit and there's no minimum play. Okay, so one of my inherited children, you know him, Al, Frankie. He played in both leagues for several years in both. Okay, so that's the biggest biggest reference I can go to personally. And what I tell you, there's a difference between the kids that have the benefits of the weight and the keeping the big guys off of them, and then minimum plays, get to be in there and taking out good players so that they actually show what they really can do most of the time. I guess I'm old school in that. I think if a 126 pounder wants to fight a 146 pounder or a 182 guy wants to fight a 215 guy, fucking let him do it.
Yeah.
You know, title or not, title too. Sanction it, don't sanction it. That's all bullshit too. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's about who's getting the money, which promotion, like you said, Marcus. So I heard them talking about this a couple of times, and I really hope it goes forward. You know what I mean? And
now that you explain it that way, I kind of agree with it too.
Yeah, like it kind of takes away from this whole bullshit of they can run weight or make themselves sick, or you know, vice versa. At the very least, like, okay, let's take it away from the dark side of Spence. You know, what if he like was fasting to make weight and shit, and goes in there and he's all butterfly and lightheaded and et cetera, and got the shit kicked out of him because he just tried to make weight. Who cares if he was 4 pounds heavier? It's not gonna. There's still what the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
agreed.
250. You know what I mean?
It's like I said, some
of
these weight cuts is like dangerous, man. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you remember God rest his soul, Rumble Johnson. He was fighting welterweight.
He started at welterweight.
That dude was that's insane.
And finished off at heavyweight.
The cuts that he had to do.
But again, folks, that's all the time we have.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate you guys. I want to thank Rick, my brother Marcus.
Yes, sir.
If you guys want any artwork done, please check my nephew Nate out. His info's in our bio.
Yeah, man. Super talented. And if you like our intro track, you should look up Nish. His music is on SoundCloud and YouTube. The name of the song is Trap Sense.
Thanks again, folks.
Yes, sir.